we should do an episode on the 80s Weirton Fire School weekends. Might have to do some heavy editing.
Yeah, those were fun days. I don't know why they don't do those anymore. Those were such a fun time. There's a lot of stories I can't even tell.
What happens in Weirton stays in Weirton, right?
Yep. So welcome. We are live. Welcome to Third Due First In podcast. Sorry about a little technical glitch here. Our music didn't play for some reason. We're just getting things figured out here, so you'll have that from time to time. I'm Keith Hennon. I'm here with my good friend Gino Eskin. What's going on, Gino?
Hi, Keith. What's going on? How are you?
Not much. Everything's good. You get grass cut today?
Got all the grass cut today, yes. And got some other stuff handled this morning. Had to take care of some personal stuff, so had to take the day off today.
We actually had a couple days without rain here finally, huh?
I know. Thank goodness. Man,
well,
this rain is just ruining my summer. Totally ruining my summer.
It is. So somebody was saying that they think that we're getting a lot more rain than we had in the past, but supposedly I think we're pretty on average for the last couple of years of the amount of rain we get. Well, it does seem like it
rains again.
It does seem like it's a lot, but I mean, I remember the summers we were going through like droughts when we weren't getting rain at all. So I guess it goes in cycles.
Absolutely.
Well, we got a great show here. We got some good guests. We got some hot topics. So let's get right into it now. We're going to get Chief Brandon Hale from the Port View Fire Department on with us, and Brandon's going to talk about their drone program there. Welcome to the show, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Guys.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, brother?
Thank you. I'm doing well. So you got your show ready to go here for the drones, the technology you guys got out there?
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Brandon, too. Like, give us a little origin of your department, how this all came about.
Yeah, I'll try and run down quick. Just a little bit about me. The fire chief in Port View. I also run the emergency management. I'm the emergency management coordinator up here. I instruct, EMS classes for Westmoreland County. I also now help do drone instruction and such. 4 kids, married, avid drummer, ice hockey player, for a little personal background.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Many years musician wise.
What's your genre of music?
90s rock.
Nice.
That was the best time. As far as the drone program goes, I just started on a whim from my old assistant chief, Donnie Williams. He was a medic down in McKeesport for a while there, and he every year he would, hey, I need, I'd do my budget. I took over 2018 as the chief and do my budget, and Donnie would be, hey, I need $5,000 for a drone. Piss off, like we ain't getting a drone, So, no, and he finally wore me down, and I got an open-ended grant. And I was like, all right, we'll give us a shot, and he got it, and we got called a couple times for it. And I think Penn Hills was one of the first. And it just started to take on a life of its own. And then he moved away. And I continued to get called. Yeah, North Carolina. And unfortunate. I mean, he was instrumental in how far my department has come as of late, and unfortunate. But then that fell in my lap, and I knew absolutely nothing about drones and their capabilities and everything. And as we started getting called, I was so mad, and eventually after we found a few people, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Okay. So I went and took all the drone classes Donnie signed me up for and ended up getting involved in it. It's grown immensely since then to what it is today, to the point where we have a specific drone response vehicle, and man, we go everywhere. We go to every county that surrounds Allegheny County.
Yeah.
So what are some of the uses? Obviously, search and rescue comes to mind, but I was thinking, obviously, just for situational awareness, for command on larger fires, brush fires. I think that's probably a use that you guys get a lot for that too.
I mean, anything you think of. I mean, we went to Lincoln for a brush fire a few months back. Used that. You can pinpoint and map everything with them, so it gives you a radius of how big the brush fire is, where your coordinated attack's going to come from, and such. Search and rescue. We do a lot of fugitive searches with the police. We get called all over the place for that. Sometimes in the water, it'll see a couple feet below the water as well. We've used it on a couple, at least one that I recall, where we spotted the body before with an aerial drone in the IR before anybody had located it.
Oh.
So Yeah, I mean, it pretty much laser rangefinders, the active shooters. I mean, I'll go through some of my stuff and you'll see.
Yeah, dude, definitely. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you ready to share your screen and we go through that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because there's a lot, like, for example, like a large commercial structure, like we were talking before, I might not be able to do a proper 360 on that building just because of very variable objects. A river could be down along the river somewhere. And I could see that being a great tool.
Absolutely.
If you could launch that on an initial response, I mean, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just comes, the technology just continues to amaze the way it's come.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go through our new drone response vehicle really quick, just because it's basically a pickup truck on steroids for the most part. But this was it. It's got a big light tower on it, as you can see up top when it first came in. That's one of the things I put on it just for the aerial operations. And then I'll go through. This is the front. So on this is the interior. It actually gives us the communications to contact every I mean, I literally have the ability to every county in here on the radios. I went through from like Greene County, Somerset, Fayette. I mean, I have the ability to communicate with all of them now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, thanks to Westcom for really pushing the limits with that. It took a while, but I think there's 10 counties we're able to communicate with when we go now. So that's huge, because being able to listen into what they have going on has been big for me.
Yeah.
But just the back seat, lights, fully transverse trays on this. This is all drone equipment. And then this is really where it's set up, is we have TVs that come out of the drone and they fly from the drones. Hey, my wife's saying there's no sound on the podcast. She's trying to listen, FYI.
Okay, give us 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. I just figured I'd relay that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're on the mic.
Can any audience there, could you comment?
Yeah, actually, everybody's commenting. They can hear us. Audio is fine.
Okay, all right, good. Just making sure. I'm sorry.
Might be something with her camera or her phone or something.
For sure. I just wanted to make sure, just so we were.
Thank you.
I was trying to help out.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry. Getting back to it.
No
This is like our command center here. It has 2 simultaneous TVs. This is good for. So when I have a drone operator, I don't want everybody and their mother messing with them. It's a very complex. I got $40,000 in the air at that point in time, so I don't want anybody messing with them. So this gives the ability they remote into this TV, and command can watch what they're seeing as they're flying.
Okay.
On these big screens. So I've a lot of the times when we go to the fugitive searches, I've noticed, like the ATF agents or whatnot, whoever's working it, and then they always want to know, they're always looking over their shoulder, and that's very nerve-wracking for somebody that's trying to fly a drone. So we invented this system, and it gives the ability for everybody to watch while not bothering the guy that's trying to fly the drone and keep it from wrecking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Stokes basket tent for setting up our operations, our EKG monitor in the back there. This is actually, we're in the process now of switching. This is going to be an ALS response, ALS QRS.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter of EMS background.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So we have enough people to staff. I'll step for this.
Oh, good.
Transverse trays. We actually have a Lucas device too. It's a CPR machine. Thanks to the McKeesport Hospital Foundation for that one. They got us that last year.
Oh, cool.
And then we carry our inflatable boat deflated up here, along with some lawn chairs and such for when we have, long drone calls and such.
Nice.
Obviously.
Did you guys just get that?
Yeah, it came in about 4 months ago now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, yeah, we sold a pickup, and this was in the process. Nick Piscitano was a big help with getting it when I went to him with my idea, because we were taking our engine all over the place, and it was not economical to keep doing that. So we got together with that. And then super proud of my 100% sticker right there.
Nice.
But yeah, there's we fill the inflatable boat with the standard SCBA bottles, a couple O2 tanks, and then there's what it looks like for an operations there. This right here is pretty cool. This is one of our new pieces of equipment, this InstaGrid. It is a solar power generator, so we can power our stuff from pretty much anywhere, and it's a hugely useful tool.
It'll charge your batteries.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll run a lot of stuff off of that. And then I'll get into my actual drones and what we have for operations. So this is the big guy, Gene, that you were talking about. It's like a small helicopter. This has laser rangefinder, infrared. This is what we'd use for like your structure fires, commercial structure fires, stuff like that to see, for you. That's it's not a fast deployment. So it takes some time to put together. It's the only disadvantage to it. It has like a 5-mile radius where it could fly. But I can tell you that the camera on it is so powerful that we put it up at the fire station, and we could zoom in on O'Reilly's Auto down there and see the faces of people walking into the store down there. So that's how far the technology has come with this cameras and such.
How much is that?
This one, I think this one total was $35. Batteries alone for it are $1,200. So yeah, so this is our big one. This is our main one we try to use if we have the time to put it up.
Hey, Brandon, before you get too far into the drone, somebody was asking, and Ryan was asking, during the building process of your squad, was there anything that you hope you could help others avoid or overcome in the building process?
I got to tell you, no, not at all. When we went with Swab Wagon out of, I think it's Elizabethtown out near Harrisburg, I didn't have an issue with them whatsoever. I mean, they built a solid truck on a poly body so we could carry a ton of stuff. I really have I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't had an issue or anything.
Yeah, cool.
Is it Jimmy Campbell selling them still?
Yeah. He ended up being the one that sold it to us. Yeah.
Shout out, Jimmy, if you're watching.
Yeah. He's been the when you get a new piece of apparatus that bugs, it's a custom built truck, you're gonna have bugs. Yeah. Every bug that we've had, I mean, he's been on it. So I mean, the aftermarket service, afterwards service has been incredible.
That's what really counts.
Yes.
Yeah. Jimmy's an awesome guy. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
Solid dude.
You might have answered this, but how heavy is that drone?
This drone, I'd say 10 pounds. It's not super heavy.
It looks heavier.
Yeah, it does. It looks heavier. The batteries alone are probably 2 pounds a piece. I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but that's when you hold it in your hand, that's really heavy.
Yeah.
This is our smaller underwater ROV, underwater drone, if you will.
Okay.
This is just to fit in tight spaces underwater if we need it. We don't use this much. This is more of a quarry drone that would use because it's not very good in current, but it does have the ability to grab. I'll show a video later of it grabbing some stuff off the ground. The image quality in our murky rivers on these things are absolutely amazing. And,
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, super useful tool. I'll show you that video. And then this is my mini submarine. This is the size of that big drone, Gene, that you saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this one actually has sonar on it. It handles the current very well, and it'll run for 2+ hours searching for a body or whatever in the water. I mean, it's this is a company out of Canada called Deep Trekker, and their product is superior to anything I've used. I mean,
is that tethered?
Yeah, it can be untethered, but as they said when we bought it, don't do that. Because
yeah, you'll be doing a dive detail for that.
Yeah. But these are my favorite. I really like running these because it's not in the air and it can't crash. So that's my favorite to run. Yeah.
You said it'll run for like 2 hours, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the batteries. It's got two big bullet batteries in here, and they'll run a good 2 hours.
Wow,
if they're fully charged. Right. This is my new latest and greatest. I'm super proud of this thing. This is the Unitree Robotics. It's like a robot dog. It can 3D map the interior of a building. It can jump 2 feet. It'll walk up and down stairs. It'll walk through debris fields and everything. I got this in case of an active shooter. And if we had to, do something like that, land drone, if you will. And it's super, super cool technology to see it. Works right off of just a, iPad screen, and you it maps the whole entire building that it goes into, and you can, obviously find, send that in instead of the SWAT team if need be.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
really
sick.
cool.
Yeah, this one's my favorite, and it's our latest.
Almost scary.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm assuming that's good for like building collapse, stuff like that too.
yeah, absolutely. Building
Yeah.
collapse. Now, I haven't been able to equip it yet, but it would have gas monitoring on it and stuff. I'm going to get that at some point, but right now it's just, for 3D imaging inside of a building.
Yeah.
Biggest question is, did you name it?
Yeah, we call that Snoopy Jr. because my canine's name is Snoopy. This guy here is our Aveta. It's a tiny drone. The cool thing about this one is also for small spaces. It doesn't have infrared, so you can't really run it at night. But what it does is if you're looking, say you're sending in for an active shooter or something, if it wrecks, it'll right itself and start flying again. It's more of a virtual reality, and it's tiny. It's about the size of my fist. So I mean, it's a tiny little drone, but the picture quality is still amazing, and it's very easy to run.
That's neat.
And then, yeah, this one here is our Autel. The only thing different about this, it's smaller, more readily able to deploy, and it can infrared through windows, which is one of our only ones that could do that. Then this guy here is this is our Dolphin 1. This is a surface land like surface water drone. It can carry a body of up to 350 pounds. We've actually tested that. And it's remote controlled, and it's basically just a buoy to bring somebody in if they're stranded in the water or whatnot. We don't get that too often, but it's a good tool to have if you wanted to rapidly deploy and get something out to them, and you could drive them right back into land.
You guys have a boat? Oh yeah, the inflatable boat, right?
They have a full boat. They have a like a dive boat.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we have the boat, and then we have an inflatable as well. So we have both of those. And then these are just our smaller Matrice 30s thermals. All these are the smaller version of that huge drone you saw. They're just very fast to deploy. That's all. I can get on scene and I can put these up in an instant, and it's just as good. We just got these two not too long ago, and they have speakers and spotlights on them, huge spotlights. So if you needed to have a speaker to evacuate a crowd or something, they have that on them.
Or play some Credence.
Yeah. And then this one's coming. They're replacing our big drone. It's the M400. It's going to have the laser rangefinder on it.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, you could actually track a fugitive with these things. Like you hit a button and it'll key in on something and it'll track them, and it'll avoid objects in the process.
Does it track a heat signature? So how does it track it? Like, does it track it through a heat signature? Or?
I don't know if it's the heat signature or what, but it'll lock. If on your screen, you'll tap and identify an object, and it'll lock onto that object.
Oh, so it could be anything.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it does it by the heat signature or not. I couldn't answer that one.
Yeah.
And there's my K9, Snoopy, fully Ample certified. Super proud of him. That's what we bring to the K9. Well, he's actually a part of the Lincoln Borough's K9 team. We kind of partner with them with that. I wrote a grant for them not too long ago to get all our dogs certified, and that was part of my condition. I said I just want my dogs certified out of all of this, and so I could have one too. And then we equipped the truck with all bulletproof vests. I have 8 bulletproof vests on the truck for any fugitive searches we go on for the guys. Rest easy, Senator or Representative Gurgley. He was the one that got us those.
Nice.
And then I'll just take you through a couple quick videos
Sure.
that I have. I'd like to show you. This was our claim to fame when we got called to Dravosburg. I think it was Dravosburg. I think the chase actually started in McKeesport, and the guy went into the woods. No, that's the ending. And we put up drones, and down here is the riverbank, and you could actually see the person right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
the
had
bad guy.
Yep, that's the bad guy. We located him, and then you could see off to the right upper hand corner here as we're directing the cop and the K9 in to catch this guy.
Wow.
And we're radioing to him, telling exactly where he's going. This guy's laying down on the riverbank in between some weeds. And it cuts out in the middle here, but the end game ended up being this here. where there's the cop and the canine coming at, and then they're on top of the fugitive there, and they apprehended him. That we ended up posting this on Facebook on our page, which is we were super happy. This is one of our first people we found, and man, it had probably 1,000 shares, and this is really where it took off after this one.
Okay. I'm imagining it, as opposed to a helicopter being overhead, the suspect probably, I believe you said the drone was there.
Yeah. And at this point, for fugitive searches like that, we use the smaller ones that are a lot more silent than that big helicopter.
Yeah.
For search and rescues, you want, like if you're searching for somebody, as you can come to that conclusion, you want people to be looking for the drones and stuff. So the more noise, the better.
Oh, okay.
This one here is one of our smaller drones. It can actually deploy a life vest.
Oh, look at that.
That's pretty slick.
And then I thought that's really neat. I mean, the application, whether it ever get used or not, but at least we have the ability to drop something to somebody if need be.
Yeah.
And then this is our underwater drone, the smaller one we used for this, but this is the Hale River. I think it's about 20 feet down. And we're picking up a coffee cup off the bottom of the river.
Huh.
Well, that is really clear.
Yeah, is it not? And visibility 10 to 15 feet.
Wow. That is neat, man.
But yeah, and then just a piece of new equipment we got, me with my son. We just we picked.
Ah, cool hovercraft.
Yeah, we picked up a hovercraft for like ice rescue and stuff like that. But I will go back into non-share mode on.
Man, I think I might want to go join Port View. It's fun out there.
That's so cool, man. I learned so much just in that 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Now, what it's done for me too, Gene, is a lot of these guys that have come in with, the dive team and the drones, people join for the technology because it's a new cool thing. I've had 10 to 15 guys go and take their fire essentials because of it, because then they see the firefighting aspect of it. Yeah. And that's really helped my recruitment and retention. I tell guys all the time, I'm like, if you're looking for recruitment and retention, I think we handle it a wrong way. And you should specialize in something that's new and cool. Doesn't mean you have to spend a ton of money on it, but maybe it draws in more membership. And once they see the firefighting aspect, they go on and they do that.
That's a good avenue.
It's just my little tidbit. The drone has brought in many, many people firefighting wise for me. So
just curious. I know I see, I guess typical whacker. I watch a lot of the FDNY videos and stuff, and they're working fires, but I see they have a drone unit, and they'll come out a lot of times for the bigger fires, just so the incident command can see.
Drone. Yeah,
but so that way the incident command can see overhead view of what's going on. Stuff like that.
I've seen that before.
Have you been called out for any fires like that to give incident command overhead view?
We've been called out. Jefferson Hospital is one. We got called to the what was it? The Elizabeth High School that caught on fire.
Yeah.
We got called out to that one.
Elizabeth Township High School. Yeah.
Elizabeth Township High School. Yeah. That one. We were called out to that one. There was one other one. It was a huge commercial fire that had a bunch of cars inside. I can't exactly remember where it was, but those are the three that come to mind. We get called every once in a while for that. It's mostly brush fires usually, but just because I think the word hasn't made it out how useful they are in larger commercial fires.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in command of a fire incident, but I mean, I would think that'd be useful.
1,000. I was just saying that before. I mean, if I got a big building and I have a lot of them, that would be a hell of a tool.
Yeah. It's invaluable. I mean, I don't have any tethered drones just because they're very basic compared to the ones that I have just for the tether, and I feel they're overpriced. But I mean, my drones will give you I have umpteen drones, and I'll give you an hour and a half out of every one of them. So I mean, if one needs battery charge, we'll put another one up. And
so it's like almost continuous.
Yes, absolutely. And I have enough drone pilots that can do it as well. Yeah. So we have the largest waiver from the FAA in Pennsylvania, as far as I know, as far as where we're allowed to fly without having to file a notice to airmen or anything like that. So the FAA's been big in helping us too. So
that actually is another question I sort of had. I know with the county airport over our way, that causes issues for drones, but how's that work for you guys?
So it did big time for a while there, and it would take you'd have to contact the tower. Then you'd have to file a NOTAM, which is notice to airmen, and then they'd grant you clearance. And then 20 minutes after that, your drone would actually finally be able to deploy. It's come a long way now, to the point where we can call the Allegheny County Tower, and within 2 minutes, they'll have us free of any geofencing, what they call it, and we'll be able to fly, which is super helpful. And we're never up high enough to wreck into any planes or anything. That was specifically made for people that, aren't doing emergency services.
Yeah.
So I think they've learned that since then. It's the only thing I always say to people is when they're doing this with the drones, it's the only time I get frustrated is when they're 2 hours in and they call me. Like I always, my quote for that is call me early, call me often, because it takes me time sometimes to get it in the air, to get the drone set up, to file the paperwork and do all that. It's gotten quicker as time has gone on, but it's still, when I get there and you want a drone deployed within 10 seconds, it doesn't always happen. And
Yeah.
I get people getting frustrated with me sometimes on that. So that's what I always try and put out there is call me. Even if you don't need me, you have to return me. Call me so I can get the process started and get that drone up in the air as fast as possible.
Most people probably didn't even know that you had to do all those steps. Like most, maybe other agencies, at least I didn't. I didn't know that you had to. I understood that you had to have an FAA license to fly the drone, but I didn't know that there was a whole clearance thing with the tower and all that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I didn't at first either. It's just been a learning process to the point where, and we try to do everything right because this is our bread and butter now.
Right.
Now, and I see agencies out there, and I'm not talking bad on them. I get it, because we started this way, but they get a drone. One person goes and gets licensed with a Part 107, and they're running drone operations without any permission from the FAA or anything like that. Is somebody going to turn you in? Probably not, but you're asking for problems at that point and open yourself up for liability. And I try to
do it right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not an easy process. I get it. The FAA process was a 6-month long to get that waiver. So, I mean, it's not easy. So I get it. It's tough to do.
I applaud your commitment, man. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Chief Brandon Hale, I really appreciate it. It was really informative. Hopefully get you some more calls. Maybe after people see this video and realize what you guys, the assets.
I learned a lot, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It was pretty interesting. I didn't realize you guys had that much stuff. So
yeah, thanks a lot.
I'll be coming out to check out the hovercraft one of these days. So.
Hey, anytime you want. That's mine. Hey, I got time. One thing.
One more. Yeah, good.
I just saw you do a quote the other day, Gene, and I always share a quote with my guys, and it's I can't recall who it's from, but it's never doubt that a small group of people can change the world. Indeed is the only thing that ever has. And I preach that to my guys a lot. So that's a quote that I live by at the department. I just wanted to share a quote out there.
Thanks, man.
Try not to suck.
Try not to suck.
All right, Chief Brandon Hill, Port View Fire Department drone program. We appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me on, brother.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, first, before you go to some comments about that segment was sponsored by FireCam, our new sponsor. They got the FireCam Mini. And for everybody who knows that we're giving away a FireCam Mini to one of the first 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Right here. Yeah. Flashlights, cameras.
Yep. So make sure you subscribe and like our channel. So we did learn something as we're learning this process. Apparently, YouTube, when you subscribe to a channel, unless you explicitly make yourself public for subscriptions, even the channel owner can't see who subscribed to all your name if you're private, if you make yourself private. So if you want to make sure you're entered to win that chance for the mini cam, make sure you go into your privacy settings and that you're sharing your subscription. To be honest, I don't know exactly how that works, but you can probably just Google that and figure that out. If you're unable to Google it, just send us a message. Let us know you subscribe, and we'll make sure that you're in the drawing once we get to 500 subscribers. But the mini cam is 1080p, and it is built for firefighting. It is made for the heat. Very good quality product. So make sure you get entered to win the chance. So the drone program, that was pretty interesting. I didn't realize they even had that much stuff.
No, I can only, if there wasn't trees in the way, I could see their firehouse from mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, I never really thought about like the drones for like major fire incidents and stuff until watching his FDNY videos, and I'd see like their incident command standing around the monitor and looking at the aerial footage. And I'm like, that's actually seems to me as like an incident commander that sort of gives you more situational awareness or overall picture of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, they have so much capabilities there. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, pretty good. So let's get right into the next topic: firearms in the fire service. We're going to bring in Assistant Chief Joe Persichetti from the Pleasant Hills Volunteer Fire Department. welcome Joe, and thank you for being on.
What's up, brother?
Gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
So, as we always get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Joe, and your little career of how you got into the fire service and public safety in general, because you were a little bit more than just the fire service.
Yeah, started 13 years ago now. Started at South Baldwin. Did my stint there until I kind of moved away from home, not far, obviously. Joined Pleasant Hills in 2014. Kind of ran at both for a little while. Then once I wasn't living at home with my parents anymore, left South Baldwin, was all in Pleasant Hills. I have been ever since. That was probably about 2016. I think 2017, got captain that year. I think that's when it was. I think I took a year off maybe it was 18. Got captain. Took a year off after that. Was a little busy with everything. I was back to lieutenant for a couple of years. I'm in my third year as assistant chief. Somewhere along the lines in there, end of 2016, I was career fire in the city of Morgantown. Worked down there for a little over a year and a half. Left there summer of 2018. Got hired in Whitehall Borough as a police officer. Went to the academy. Been there ever since, so 7 years now.
So you did the reverse. You did the reverse.
Yeah, I did the opposite of you.
Yeah.
At the time, obviously everyone says, "Well, you're the idiot. Fire's the job to have." No one goes the other way.
No, money's the thing to have, not to.
That helps.
Yeah.
Plus, I like to be close to home.
Yeah.
Family oriented. Like to be close to family. So
Sure.
I wasn't going to have that working in Morgantown.
I heard Whitehall used to have a really good dispatcher there back in the day.
Yeah, I think I saw in the comments that they said the dispatcher looked like Dwight Schrute. So.
Dwight Schrute. Yeah, I saw that comment too. So
I tried getting you back. I tried getting you back.
So let's get right into it. So the topic we're going to start off with is this was because of about a month ago, I guess now, about the ambush situation now in Idaho. I forget where's that? Iowa or Idaho? The ambush situation.
Idaho. I was out in
Idaho. Yeah. So that sort of sparked the conversation. Obviously, tragically, a couple of firefighters were killed. One was gravely injured. I believe he's recovering, but he's got a long road. They were called to a brush fire, and they just started getting fired upon, from what I understand, once they got there. So it started to talk. The discussion started coming up about maybe the firefighters deserve to have the opportunity to be armed to defend themselves in situations like that.
Yeah. So obviously, firefighters are just sitting ducks when we respond to calls. We're not armed. We rarely have body armor. Our mindset when we're going to calls, if we're called for a house fire, we're not expecting a gunman to be pointing a rifle out the window at us when we pull up.
Right.
We're geared on, is there smoke showing? Is there fire blowing from a window? Not is there a gun pointing out at us. But even on the alternative, me going to a call as a police officer, I could go to any standard run-of-the-mill call, and I could be faced with the same thing. I'm probably a little more heightened to the opportunity of that happening,
Right.
just given my nature of my work. But I can see where people would think it would benefit for firefighters to be armed, but I don't think we're there yet.
No, I have a pretty strong opinion on this. I do not, in any way, shape, or form, think a firefighter should be armed, and for many reasons. But one of my biggest reasons is we're not there to hurt anybody. When we show up, like anybody says, everybody loves firemen, and I don't want the general public to have that idea that I'm coming there and I have a lethal weapon on me, even though my truck weighs how many ton and I have tools and all the things that I could easily defend myself with. the guns in the fire service, I believe, is just a bad idea. A bad idea because in a career department, you might have a little bit more leeway, but at a volunteer department where you don't know if that one's, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same people every call. You know what I mean? And I think
I'm sorry.
I'll just finish up quick. I don't know. That guy could have had permission to have a gun. That guy couldn't have a permission to have a gun. I don't want to have to worry about that as a firefighter.
Right.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I think the frequency of events that, how often do we see, firefighters getting gunned down? Idaho was obviously the most recent.
In New York.
There was that one in New York. You could probably count on one, maybe two hands in the last, maybe in my lifetime since I've been aware of, current events.
There's been a lot more. There was an incident in Prince George County with an ambulance crew and an engine company. They were fired upon. That was some years ago. I could probably pull 10. But the key to that, the key of not putting yourself in a situation that you should not be in as a firefighter, not a police officer, firefighter, is your chiefs. Your first two chiefs should have a handle on. I've talked about this before on the show in situational awareness. Your chief should be monitoring multiple channels. They should be finding out what's going on prior to that rig even hitting the asphalt. So that's how I feel, at least. It all starts from the top. You got a good chief that's got a good head on his shoulders. They'll do the best they can not to put you in harm's way. We do a dangerous job.
Right. There's certain calls, I'm pulling out the driveway and I just kind of, that sounds a little suspicious. Makes you at least think twice. But I'm guilty of this exact thing. I switch gears, right, between work and fire. So, at work, if I go to a certain call, I'm not going to park right in front of the house or pull up close to the house.
Thanks.
That goes out the window.
You're going to park in front of the hydrant, right?
Yeah. I usually, but like if I go to a fire call sometimes, if it's the middle of the night CO call and, I'm going to the scene, so to say, I'm not even thinking I'm parking right next door, right in front, I'm waiting for the rig to get there or whatever. I don't think the same way as I do at work sometimes as I do.
You can't.
I guess that's one benefit to me is I'm able to flip that switch sometimes.
And that's another thing too, is I was in the same shoes you were in. I was working full time as a cop back whenever I was really active in Pleasant Hills. And it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. You know what I mean? It's not about the weapons, but just about how to make sure you got the right hat on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I catch myself sometimes on calls. It's like, I can't do that. On fire calls, it is. I can't do certain things because I'm not working as a cop at that point.
But guns, I know for years ago in Pleasant Hills, and I haven't been in the firehouse in a while. I apologize, but there used to be lock boxes in the lockers, right?
Yeah.
And you had a key, and then you could take your firearm off, put it in the lock box, right? Mm-hmm. Do they still have that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're talking too. Like I'm very big a Second Amendment supporter. I believe everybody has a right to carry and bear arms. But I agree. I think we're talking. Me and Joe were talking a little bit off screen about this too. Like obviously there would have to be some type of training standards, training requirements. There's just a lot that would go into it. I totally agree with your point about the public doesn't expect us to come there to harm them. And not that's what our intent would be, but now if we're armed and we're coming to their call, then they have that perception that, hey, they're scared of us. Right. They got guns on them.
Or they attempt to get the weapon.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know what I mean? That's another thing you got to look at. A police officer at Act 120, you're trained to a certain level, and if any other training, I'm not saying that's the end all be all as far as weapon retention, but you are trained, right, Joe?
Yeah. That was going to be one of my next points.
Right.
Firefighters, medics, EMTs are way more exposed to not being focused on the firearm that might be on their hip. and they're bent over, someone could easily just, if you're in a situation that you may need a firearm, well, you can't multitask. You can't worry about someone potentially walking up behind you or next to you and trying to grab your gun and tend to the patient, the extrication, the fire.
Right.
And that brings a whole nother thing. Should we be going into a house fire with bullets on our hip?
If my bullets ignite, I've been dead for a while. But anyway, yeah, it's just too many things going on, right? And the key, like I said before, was with the chief officers. You know, if your spidey senses are up, you know what I mean. You're throwing red flags in your head. You know, you call for a cop. And listen, if there's not a district car where I work available, they'll just keep calling. So I might get a whiteout car or a for sales car or so. Don't go on the scene. What I'm trying to say is, do not put yourself in harm's way. If you feel that something ain't right, you get on the radio and you just say, "I'm a block away. Let me know." You know,
right? And we're very fortunate here that we're not in a county-based system where it's going to take 20, 30 minutes for a cop to show up. Yeah. Everyone has their own police department, and some people may have their issues with that. But the cops are good too. You know, they usually show up, even if it's a standard run-of-the-mill fire alarm, CO call. Like they're still showing up at least, or they're getting the call. They're cognizant that we are going somewhere.
See, we aren't. They let our police know, but I'd say 75% of the time I don't see a policeman at all, just because they're just so busy. If we need them, they'll be there fast. I had an incident, and you know, they'll get there fast. We're all good friends, and good working relationships. Another thing you got to really promote, the work relationship between the police and the fire department. Sometimes that could splinter because of a bad word that was said to somebody. You know, it could be a multitude of things. I've always been a big proponent on making sure you maintain that good working relationship with those street cops, because those street cops are the ones that are going to have your back. Yeah.
And, you know, the police usually need us more than we need them, given, you know, unless it's a strange circumstance, but but when we need them, I mean, shit's hitting the fan. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
So back to that sort of mindset, and we talked about this in the situational awareness episode too, where, you know, as firefighters, we're not expecting to go to a call and be ambushed. I mean, obviously, police officers, that's always sort of in the back of their mind because of the nature of your job. But so firearms aren't the answer to be in the fire service. Then what are some tips you think that as a firefighter, the mindset we should have going to calls, or what are some things we can do to maybe protect ourselves? And what do we do if you get to a call and something bad like that starts happening, shots start getting fired? What do you do?
Yeah. You know, consider your cover and concealment ideas. You know, what's going to cover you from bullets? You know, what is a bullet not going to go through? What's going to conceal you to at least get you away? So it may not stop a bullet, but at least you're harder to see. Look for those types of things around you. Again, we're not thinking of these things, so that this would take a lot of mental reps for people to start thinking about these things pulling up on calls. I think everyone has gone to or has ran enough calls that, you know, you walk around a house. Is there smoke alarms? You know, is it a hoarding condition? We all know when we see those things. So maybe it's time that we start teaching ourselves other things. You know, if someone does start shooting at me, where am I going? Am I running behind the truck? Am I, you know, ducking down behind a car in the driveway? And like I said earlier, with the certain calls that the hairs just stand up on the back of your neck.
Yep.
Take an extra 30, 40 seconds to take everything in before you pull up.
Take those blinders off.
Yeah, just take an extra look around. I don't think there's any foolproof answer because, again, we never expect this.
No.
as firefighters.
No.
So there is no exact way that everyone should go into a call that is questionable. But yeah, those are just a couple of things that I would consider doing. Just take that extra minute even to take a deep breath, take everything in before you.
And to add to that too, a firefighter getting off the rig, and I said this in a situational awareness, I'll say it again. I don't want to ever see a firefighter on a fireground without a tool in their hand. And that tool is obviously going to meant to do their job, but it's also can use as a blocking device. And I'm not saying it where you're baseball swinging a Halligan bar at somebody, but you could use that tool to get you away from a bad situation.
Right. Yeah, at least in close quarters.
Put some distance between you and that whatever's going on. Time, distance, and shielding. We say it for everything. Time, distance, and shielding. And if we can stick with that, it could give us a better chance. I'll just say.
Yeah, I think if we don't have any drill ideas for the next time, on a Thursday night, maybe we'll go over that. How we can use our firefighting tools as just to protect yourself. That's all it is.
Yep. I'm not saying as a weapon. I'm saying protect yourself.
Yeah,
Actually sounds like a fun idea for Joel. I get a good turnout for that.
Just don't hurt anybody, please.
I'll end up hurting myself. So. All right. Well, I guess we're pretty much wrapped up on that conversation. We're going to keep Assistant Chief Joe Persichetti here for our news segment. So we're going to jump in our news.
Okay.
So we're going to cover two line of duty deaths. Just to mention, I'm not really getting a lot of details about it, but Delaware County, New York, Chief Jason McGlone from the East Branch Fire Department. They were responding on July 17th, they're responding to a vehicle accident, a vehicle off the highway. Apparently, they're in the rescue truck, pulled up on the scene. A live wire must have been touching the roof of the rescue truck. I guess it was low hanging from the accident. And when he got out, touched the door, touched the ground, and I guess he was electrocuted and died. So that's crazy. I mean, I obviously scene awareness, you're pulling up, you're looking around, stuff, but you just never think about the low hanging wire touching the top of the truck.
We teach it in essentials. It's one of the we don't. I don't know if they still do it or not, but we used to teach them how to jump from the rig. So you're not making contact with the rig and the ground, and then jump as far as you can. Especially if you're an aerial device and your aerial device is touched up, and you believe your rig's energized and you're on it. Jump as far off of that rig as you possibly can. I don't care if you break both your legs, break a leg and an arm. Don't care. You're going to be alive.
That's sort of curious. I don't know what happened with the rest of the crew in the rig. I don't understand why, if they saw what happened and they realized what was going on, or why nothing else happened.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the other line of duty death this past week was a firefighter from.
God bless that guy. Buddy.
Yeah. Our thoughts obviously to his friends and family, his coworkers. And the other line of duty death was in Van Dyne, Wisconsin. Firefighter Amy Lee. This is a weird one. She actually fell at the fire station and injured her knee. And I guess she was off work for a week or so. And about a week or two later, she developed a blood clot, they think, and she had a pulmonary embolism and died.
Oh.
Yeah, so sort of crazy. I guess the only takeaway I have to think of that is, even though it seems like it might be just a benign injury, I guess obviously follow up with your physicians and stuff like that, make sure you're thoroughly checked out for something like that. Because I would never think you fall and injure your knee, and next thing you're dying a week later.
Well, God bless her.
Again, our thoughts with her department, her coworkers, friends, and family. The other news story, sort of funny this past week. The baseball game that was flooded out by the fire department.
I didn't hear about this.
So this was I gotta get this straight where this was at.
If anybody's going to do it, it would be us.
It was
Montgomery County, Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess a baseball team was playing, and this apparently was like a big championship games going on at this park that's next to the fire station. But a long fly ball soared over the fence and hit one of the pickup trucks of one of the firefighters at the Silver Spring Fire Station. So shortly after, I guess the fire department figured that they'd pay them back, and they opened something up to have a huge stream of water that cascaded on the field and flooded them out. They were unable to finish their game.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious, yeah.
So the guys at the firehouse are pissed.
Yeah.
Because a ball came over and whacked one of their personal vehicles?
Yep. So they opened up, I don't know if they opened up a deck gun or something, or they just had a handline flown, flooded the field out. So obviously the fire department has apologized. They
sure
said
they have.
they've taken the incident very seriously. Actually, the police actually are investigating it.
So I wonder if they had season tickets, free season tickets to the games. Not anymore.
Well, I think they actually had to cancel the rest of the game. They couldn't finish the championship game that they were having too. So.
What was it? It wasn't Major League, right?
No, it was I don't know. I think it was some type of championship game for like maybe some state level or something like that. But I don't think it was.
See, there's another short sightedness of the fire department, because a lot of times when those events are going on in those parks and the ball fields and stuff, at the end of the night, they're looking for the place to get rid of all the leftover food and cookies and cakes and shit. And guess where they bring them? To the firehouse. Yeah. I'll gladly open that door.
I think it might have been maybe a minor league team or something. I don't know.
Either way, they probably had a refreshment stand. They needed to get rid of extra food at the end of the night.
Yeah, so some good PR for the fire station there, apparently, the fire department.
Bad move.
Yeah, so let's bring us to the next topic. Seems like this is going to be the hot topic of the episode, run cards. So I want to get in run cards. So the reason I bring this up is, I've seen in the past couple months, you see this a lot on social media, various calls. Typically when it's a bad call, you'll see a lot of comments. Specifically, one of the Facebook groups I watch all the time is Allegheny County Emergency Things, and you'll see a lot of comments on there about various calls. But recently there was a call the other day in South Park Township, and my intent is not to get into the details of that call specifically. It just happened to be a call. There's a fatal fire, and again, our thoughts to the victims and the family members of that victim.
That's probably an investigation still going on, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure the fire marshal's investigating. So it's not our intent to get into the details of that specific call, just the conversation in general that's been going on recently about run cards. So that's why I want to keep the assistant chief here to see what his thoughts were on run cards and how to build them out.
I think if we really dove into it, we could probably go for another hour, obviously.
Yeah.
But
which this could be another episode. I'm not saying this is not going to come up again, but maybe we'll have an episode directed to this whole topic. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do you? Can I ask a question real quick before we get started? Are you going to speak of how the Pleasant Hills run cards are? Have you guys revamped yours lately or something? Or
yeah, we did earlier this year, February, I think we did.
Okay.
We just kind of restructured. We had some companies on there that just didn't really make sense, either just too far or we were skipping companies.
Okay.
So, I mean, we build ours out. Obviously, there are certain companies that we work better with than others, work more with than others. We want those people working with our people.
Okay.
Don't tear me up in the comment section. I understand that that's probably not the way things should be done. But, hey, at the end of the day, if the job gets done, the job gets done. And that's the way we feel that it works best for us. We have kind of moved more towards distance-based. We do our very best not to skip over companies. And if they're not on one alarm, they're on the next alarm. And I know there's a lot of speculation on that. But I feel pretty – I'm sorry?
Why? Well, explain. As far as are you not using companies for a specific reason? Is it you know what I mean?
I would say the only reason why, and I know I saw someone in the comments say, someone's going to get butthurt, someone's going to get taken off of someone else's run cards.
Well, I get butthurt every day. So
yeah. And it's not. Most places are better now. But if you're going to call a company that's probably not going to get out the door, or they're bringing one person at best, that was probably a fueling factor as in why you wouldn't call them. that would be the only reason why we were skipping over companies.
Okay.
I have done my very best to have the input that, hey, if we get one, okay, fine. At least we called them. And there's no speculation now to say, well, why didn't you call them? They're right down the road. Hey, we called them and they came with one person. And I'm not trying to bash any company at all. But there are other companies that are better than with staffing themselves and getting out the door, and there's some that just aren't as good and they take longer to get out the door, and maybe they don't get out the door at all.
Okay.
So I think there are, and Gino, you obviously see this in the city. You know, you guys call outside companies into the city on your second alarm. You don't have a choice.
I'll speak to that real quickly. So I'm obviously work in the city as a chief. Our run cars are built out by our fire chief, and he's the one that sets those run cars. I don't have anything to do with that. We do use everybody that surround us. But I have no, like, you guys can go in a meeting and change your run cards.
Right.
My run cards come from the top down, and I don't have a problem with them. I applaud my fire chief for doing that and the people that he uses to help him do that, because it's a complex city. It's only 5.5 square miles, but it's densely populated. So the run cars are set up for different areas in the city, different responses and stuff. But that's all I know about it. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I know we've looked more into, okay, who around us is staff now? We want them coming. It is crazy to me that everyone around here knows who has staffing, whether it's daylight hours, daylight till midnight, or 24/7. Everyone around here knows. It's no secret. Why wouldn't you want a staff fire truck, whether they're 2 guys, 3 guys, whatever? Why wouldn't you want them coming? And if you have to skip over a company, you can have that company you're skipping over on the alarm. But if you have to go a little bit further to get a staff company to come your way, I want bodies. I need people to show up and solve the problem that's in front of me.
Right.
If I have fire blowing from a window, I am going to get a firefighter quicker that's already in the station. They may be further away, but they may still beat the company that's closer to them because they're not coming from home.
Right.
But there are definitely situations where companies around or skip over other companies for experience.
Oh, I get it. It's
the magnitude of knowledge that they show up with, the ability. I can see why companies do it, and unfortunately, there are no rules above the municipal fire companies. You know, there's nothing coming down from the county. Other than the item that we're probably going to touch on here in a few minutes.
Yeah. So like real quick, just my 2 cents on that too. Like, I get some of that. Like, obviously, I have no input on run cards whatsoever. Never have, and never probably will. But that aside, I believe there is some reasons you can justify skipping over a closest company. A, because maybe they just don't show up. B, maybe because the mentality of that company actually hinders your response or the scene because they just don't follow with the program or they just do their own thing. I just feel that I think there could be reasons, right? But I think there could be reasons for a department. I'm not saying Pleasant Hills or McKeesport or whoever, just a department to say, okay, we are not working with this company because of past incidents or because they don't have the same standards that most fire companies have. I think there is something that could be said about that. So I could see the reason. People call it like buddy boxes. Okay, you skipped over this one. You want this one because you're friends with them.
Yeah.
But maybe just work better with them, or maybe their standards are higher and they meet your expectations for what you want on the scene.
Well, my thing is, and I'll play the other side of it, and the other side, everybody would have a valid point on this side also, is if you want C company and you're A company and you're going to pass over B, just call B anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just put B on your run. You're getting, and like Joe said it himself, if I could get one guy that's coming out of that B company, You know, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so, I'm not trying to play politics here at all.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is, you guys have a very unique situation in the volunteer fire service as far as your run cars go, because how recruitment and retention is going on. Like you said, in some departments have a wealth of members, like our last guest, Brandon, he does have a lot of people up there. For Port View, it's a small community. There's a lot of people there. They get on the road fast. You know, I have an issue with going past, unless you're special calling something. Like we special call writs from maybe a second or third alarm writ from a different community, but we're only doing that so we don't strip other areas that are even closer to us. So you guys go ahead and talk. I don't have that. I understand it but whatever, in the 80s and 90s coming up in Pleasant Hills, I lived in Marhofer apartments, and there were times where I would get to the firehouse and there wouldn't be a fire truck.
Yeah.
All 5 rigs, there was 5 at the time, would be gone. So times have changed, and I feel for you. I feel for the volunteer fire service. I really do.
Yeah,
So
and
go ahead, Joe. I'm
just
sorry. I
to
think I might
get back to my
too long
comment,
there.
though. I mean, I know there is departments that specifically won't call a neighboring department because they don't want them to beat them to the scene. They don't want to get embarrassed. And believe me, I mean, I'm
Well, shame on them.
I know, totally. Yes,
Shame
I mean,
on
I enjoy going in and putting a fire out just as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
But we're all here to get the job done. Show up, put the fire out.
Right.
Show up, rescue the person that's trapped in that house.
Right.
They don't care if that truck's red, blue, yellow, green, purple. They don't care what's showing up out front. They just know
America has voted on this, and it's red.
Yeah, it should be red. I mean, that's pretty honest. I don't think there's any argument about that. The fire trucks are red, so.
But no one, the person that is having the emergency, they don't care
No,
who's showing up.
Absolutely.
And
not.
they probably, if you would ask them and you said, hey, there's a fire truck that's a couple hundred yards down the road, but because you're not in that borough, you don't live in that borough, that township, whatever, and your fire company doesn't like them, or they don't like how they work, or they don't want to get beat there and have their fire put out, they're not going to get called. I'm sure if you put that out to the, and I guess we're kind of putting that out now. If you put that out to the residents, if you put that out to a resident, that they'd be scratching their heads. It wouldn't make any sense.
And residents don't care. Like you said, a resident doesn't care. A resident doesn't sit at home and think about their fire, their police services on the regular, unless there's something controversial going on. They just expect a service when they dial 911. However that service is provided, that's up to us. We're the professionals. And if we fuck it up, excuse my language, I'll probably get banned now, but if we screw it up, who we call, right?
Right.
So we have to have a game plan, and that's what run cars are obviously for. But if you don't call a company and something bad happens, you see what I'm saying? Something bad happens. If the liability is not worth the risk, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean,
like,
if you
call
have
everybody.
if you have some sort of vendetta, or there's ego issues, that's what everyone always says. They put egos before, the constituents or the residents, whatever.
The residents, the people that they're actually, you swore your hand to raise to say, hey, guess what, Bob or Mr. or Mrs. Smith on Arbor Lane? I'm showing you on my social media post that I've raised my right hand to die for you, to literally die for you. That's heavy.
And going back to what you said, the ABC companies, you want C company, but B company's in between you and them.
Yeah.
Okay. Still call B company.
Yeah.
And when they all get there, just give the task that you want done to C company.
Well,
so at least then at that point, they're all there. Then you can pick who you want to do your jobs when they get there, if that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree with you. But those conversations that you got a beef with B, or not you specifically, I'm not saying that. If someone's got a beef with B company, call them on a goddamn phone. Call them on the phone and say, hey, listen, man, I want you to work with me. I want you to be, on my team if I get a working fire or hazmat spill or whatever it may be. What's going on? But our egos in this job just sometimes won't let that happen. And that's what we lost. That's what we lost, because in the 80s, if there was a problem with B company, as a kid, I'd be riding in the back seat with Dan going down to talk to B company's chief. And there would be words said on an apron. And it would all be handled by men or women. When I say men, understand that I am not chauvinist or anything, but it was handled. And the handling might have been a disagreement, or it might have been, hey, all right, let's work this out. And all of a sudden, B company's now coming to my Thursday night drills, and we bonded. There seems to be like this: put the white lid down, remember that we're all adults, and go have the hard conversations with people. That's what we don't do anymore. We don't.
It's most people just ignore it, and hey, we're just not working with those people.
Yeah, I heard Frank down the street's a dick. Well, go find out if Frank's a dick.
So another comment that I saw on Facebook today, I sort of found this interesting. I just want to get some reaction to this too. So people were talking about the city of Pittsburgh, neighboring communities around the city of Pittsburgh. Why don't the volunteers call the city of Pittsburgh out to their community if they're closer? But I was thinking, why isn't the reverse true? Like, why does nobody think about the reverse? I know I can't even think of it off the top of my head. And I apologize to a friend of mine, Mitch. It's his volunteer fire company. It's in Scott Township, and he's right on the edge of the city of Pittsburgh. I think the street right behind him is the city of Pittsburgh. And I know in years past, there's been house fires right close to their station, but vice versa. The city doesn't have them on their run card, even though they're the closest fire company, because they're volunteering. The city wouldn't call.
Well, I'll tell you why. And I'll be blunt. I'll be blunt.
Yeah.
They don't need you.
Yeah. But that
you talk about more than they need.
I agree, but you talk about the closest company, and if that's the case, then why isn't it fair that it's all the way around? You looked at it all the way around, as opposed to
it's just they're right. They might not have a mutual aid agreement, because we have to have those, right? Mutual aid agreements.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think that has to be on the books. If I'm not,
I'm sure there's some sort of union issue there too.
I don't even think it's a union. I think it's just the mutual aid agreement between those agencies. I mean, Pittsburgh might not have signed a mutual aid agreement. I don't want to speak of that, but because that could go the wrong. Yeah.
I mean, the city of Pittsburgh is an ISO Class 1 department. There's not many that get that.
No,
you have to be very good at what you do.
Yeah.
And the way you have everything spaced out, how your responses are.
But they do respond to mutual aid agreements with Swissvale for the RIT. And if the RIT goes to work, Swissvale gets a whole first alarm assignment.
So, but how does that work? Like, so if you special call to a company that you have a mutual aid agreement with, can they go?
I would assume. I mean, I know that's what goes on over there.
So what happens, like, if Pleasant Hills would call the city of Pittsburgh in for something, can they just come, or do they need a mutual aid agreement?
I would think they would need a mutual aid agreement. I would want a mutual aid agreement.
I don't think anyone's ever going to,
I don't think it'd be
I'm just thinking of one specialty that the city has, and it's a foam truck. If I got on the radio and said, give me the city's foam truck, they're probably not going to say no. I mean, they're still going to come.
Well, let me ask you this, Keith. You worked at dispatch, right? Mm-hmm. Mount Oliver. And again, if anybody's from Mount Oliver, chime in. But if Mount Oliver said I needed 27 engine, which is, I think, the engine that's up in that area, this is me showing some of my whackerdom.
I don't think the city of Pittsburgh wouldn't send an individual.
They would send the whole first alarm. So they're coming.
Yeah.
But you're getting a whole entire first alarm.
Correct. Yeah.
With chiefs.
I think there was it which I'm trying to think which street that was, where there was like 4 or 5 houses. This was probably 10 years ago at this point.
I know what you're talking about, Joe. Yes, they were there.
And I think the city, if Mount Oliver calls the city, they are getting the city said we're sending a full alarm.
Yeah, they can't. They have to. Yeah.
But I guess there's another another resource that the city has, the fuel truck. I remember when we were on that fire, the apartment building on East 8th Avenue in Homestead. We were there for hours, and they brought the fuel truck down. So
I think Kmart.
Yeah,
Kmart.
They have that resource,
right?
And they're one of the only ones in the county.
I would think if you special called them, like if I needed their fireboat, they have to go through one lock to get to me, and vice versa.
Right.
So we have a mutual aid agreement with Pittsburgh for fireboats, not any river rescue, anything like that. There's an agreement there that we will send our boat and they'll send their boat. So I mean that's a special call.
Yeah, but I think overall, the run card issue could be solved very simply and I don't even know if the county's able to do this, but if the county came down and said, you will make your run cards distance-based, or if they went to a distance-based CAD, if, like I take for example where I live, Broughton is the closest fire station to where I live.
Right.
They would automatically. Now Jefferson has their run cards set up that Broughton is on the alarm to my housing plan.
Yeah.
But there are some places that's not the case. The station could be down the street, closer than their municipality's fire station to their house, and they're not on the alarm.
Yeah.
And there are no guidelines other than the companies that set
and borough boundaries.
Yeah.
Borough boundaries, obviously.
If a new fire chief gets in a year or two, or even something that happens that year, that fire chief can come in, change those run cards, and if he doesn't like a neighboring agency, then they can change it and do whatever.
In today's day and age, why would you want that liability? Why would you like?
Unfortunately, that liability hasn't been exposed to the extent that that's the problem, and I don't wish that on anyone. But that liability hasn't been exposed.
It's gonna happen.
Been a problem. Yeah, Murphy's Law. If it can't happen, it will happen.
Right.
And it hasn't come to fruition around here yet.
And we don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And even the next step worse, if it's one of our own people that gets hurt out of it because we're playing games with run cards.
Right.
Then how do you answer that question? How do you live with that?
I don't want to live with it.
Yeah.
It's an unnecessary mind fuck. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I think we solved nothing probably on that topic.
Well, you were talking about now. We should probably do.
I think there definitely could be a whole episode on this. But the other hot topic that's been talked about a lot is bidding of calls. So I just wanted to read that. So the reason this sort of came up again is the Allegheny County reissued their fire SOGs, and they changed the acknowledging calls procedure. But I believe this was always a policy, and they just reiterated the policy that, and I'll just read it exactly. It says departments will not request to be added to incidents or respond to incidents they were not dispatched on. Run cards are made and approved prior to any incidents, and the department should be assigned to run cards via the proper run card updates, not during an active incident. Department shall refrain from getting on the radio and asking for help unless it's needed. And I have someone wanted to throw up here that goes to that. That's from Chief Dylan Coleman in Berkeley Hills, North Hills. This is, he's been wanted, I guess, for bidding on some calls.
Oh,
so if you see Dylan, I guess you could take him to custody. I don't know. I don't know what the reward is, but if you see Dylan, I guess lock him up. Call Allegheny County Police.
He's probably at the fire station. I could probably go just grab him up.
No, actually, I believe he's at the 911 center right now. If anybody wants to go out there and
handcuff him out. Look at that.
See, now I'll handcuff him to if there's a reward money in it.
So
reward money, I'll handcuff him to a landing gear and call 911.
Thoughts on bidding calls, Joe?
And we had this discussion obviously pre-show. Gino's never really had much experience with this.
I have none. I literally have none.
I have really no problem with it within reason. That's kind of where I come from. You know, us at Pleasant Hills, I'm not going to bid a call in Berkeley Hills. You know, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to strip resources from my town to run across the county, and nothing against Berkeley Hills, or if they called us, by all means,
you're using distance as a
yes. But it's just that's a stretch to go that far. But and we'll take, for example, the South Park call the other night, a call that a company was on or is on that run card, but because their piece of apparatus is out of service, they got on and asked if they asked the incident commander if they wanted their manpower. The incident commander acknowledged it and said, "Yep, absolutely." That is a hiccup in CAD, so to say, because their unit's out of service and not even on the CAD. They don't get called. Now, if it was on the CAD and marked out of service, then they would have just filled with the next apparatus, and that company still would have been called.
That's a dispatcher thing.
It's not on the dispatcher. It's just the way the CAD is set up, and Keith can probably explain that more.
Yeah, I meant the system. I meant.
Yeah,
I didn't mean a specific person though.
But you know, you can ask anyone. I'm all for bidding calls within reason. Sometimes the incident commander is overwhelmed, isn't thinking far enough ahead, that this company has people in station, or you know, people hear this call and they go down to the station and now they have 5-6 people in the station. That incident commander's not calling, but it sounds like they need it. What does it hurt to get on the radio and see if they want your help? Maybe it just didn't dawn on them that, oh yeah, they have people there. I can take more people. Or the simplest fix is just call the next alarm if, you know, it sounds like you need more people.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes this sort of goes back to run cards. If run cards were set up properly, they might not have an issue with people feeling the need to bid because they'd be on the run card. Right.
Yeah, but I guess and there's so much speculation to it. You know, I could have my run card set up with the 5 closest companies. That company number 6, who's on my second alarm, is the one that jumps on and bids. Well, am I going to turn them away? Probably not. But there's a chance that, like, there's a reason why you're on my second alarm. It's because
right.
You're not on the second alarm because I dislike you or I don't think you can show up and do the job. Like, everyone has their process and their.
I find that a little ridiculous, thinking about that just in my head. Like, okay, when the second alarm comes, you're going to come. You know what I mean? If the fire's not bad, just chill out. You know what I mean? They're handling it with the first alarm.
But
I don't know.
Usually the bids come from, hey, I'm close to this. I'm not on the alarm, even though I probably should be.
Oh, well, I mean,
I
guess it's unique. I don't have that, so I probably I don't want to speak more because I really don't have that.
Not until your next shift, because every call you get, I'm going to get on and bid it for it.
I can't. We're encrypted now.
Yeah, but just for an example, when Jefferson is already on our cards, our first alarm card, just our residential 1 and commercial 1 assignments. Yeah. Jefferson is on those cards. But if they weren't, if we were just single company response, and I know there's a lot of talk on that, you know, no one should be responding to a reported fire by themselves. We at least respond 2 companies. Maybe that's not the greatest thing, but I have faith in our officers that if it sounds like it's more, they're going to upgrade very quickly.
Yeah.
But that would be like, you know, we get a smells and bells call and Jefferson's not on the card. You know, maybe we didn't work well with them. The fire chief doesn't like them and they're not on our cards.
Yeah.
And they're jumping on and bidding. Okay. Yeah. Come on over. But if I have my 5 closest companies and the company that's next, is jumping on before I'm ready to call that second alarm. I don't know.
I'm thinking liability
I'm
wise.
50-50 with it. I don't with that scenario. I'm not opposed to bidding within reason, but in certain scenarios where it's like the 6th company that's on the second alarm, for them to jump in.
Yeah. Well, so if let's just say I get on the radio and I say, "Hey, Baldwin, you didn't call me, but we got a bunch of dudes hanging out." Do they have to be dispatched though, right? So would county just say okay and then hit our tones? Because I always thought there was like a liability issue there with like if you weren't officially toned out or officially requested, that workman's comp could be an issue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Firefighter.
I don't know about that because I mean, so what if you're out in the rig and you come across something? You come across a car
Call on the radio and you have
but prior to being dispatched, you get injured. I mean, like.
Well, I mean the intent though. What's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know what the legalities of it are, but
I would probably check into
I mean, that goes back to the whole thing with calling squads en route. I'm heavily against that. Like, I don't care if your pickup truck is coming. You're just bringing manpower. You're going to meet up with your crew.
My only argument with that though is at that point, are you concerned about the manpower though? Isn't this one of the questions? Is how many people are we getting for this call? So, and for most calls, for structure fires, you only need one engine, one truck. So what's the 3rd engine, 4th engine, 5th truck? What's that matter that they're calling around? At this point, you only care about the manpower. You just want to know how many people are coming.
Yeah, I could see, but at least unless you're rolling the squad first out the door. Okay. If I'm doing that, if I don't have a driver for the piece of equipment I'm called for, but I can take the pickup truck and I have 4 people there, I'm calling en route, county, the squad's in, but fill my engine. Because they're calling for an engine for a reason, that however they have their run cards set up. So I can give you the manpower, but I just can't give you the piece of equipment that you're asking for. So I can
that
see
could be an issue. That could be an issue for an incident commander, because if you were on my run card because you're coming in to grab a 2nd or a 3rd water supply for me, and you're showing up in a pickup truck when I thought you were bringing your pumper. You see what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, on the other end of that.
We respond to Baldwin on most of their fire alarms now, the way they have it set up. They call us for the truck. Well, we don't have as many truck drivers as we do engine drivers. And if someone takes the engine because they can't drive the truck, Baldwin is expecting a truck company to show up.
So they're calling you for a truck company, not specifically for the aerial device.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, no, they're calling us for the truck. Everything in all encompassing.
Okay.
That has to pertain to the truck.
Okay.
So if we can't they're calling us for the truck. If we can't get it out the door, I'm probably going to get on and say, County, the engine's in, but fill the truck, and they'll just dispatch to the next due truck. So
I got to go on that.
That should be all right.
Well, we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to try to make this a subject.
I definitely think this could be a whole episode discussing run cards. And
we'll get some opposing people
stuff
too. We'll get some people that are on each end.
Yeah.
And maybe get a little bit of internet fist fighting going on. Or something.
Yeah, and one of the comments earlier I saw too, it's from Nick Price, but he was talking about the NFPA standard on assignments and stuff like that. So I had it.
Maybe have a conversation with Nick Price. You know.
I do know Nick Price, but
I've seen him.
Nick Shahoida, I guess, was actually on that committee to
he's vertically challenged.
Yeah, to come up with that standard. So maybe we can reach out to him. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to get him on, I guess, and he can talk about that too.
We see. Well, I think we have some upcoming guests that we're not going to talk about yet, but
yeah, I'm excited. More good things to come. But I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Joe
Persichetti.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Awesome talk, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of comments and maybe some criticism out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Here. Tear me up.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. See you. All right. So I want to go to announcement again about the fire cam.
Yeah.
So last week, was it last week already? Matt Prentice was on, and we offered him a fire cam. Their department actually has a policy about wearing fire cams, so he chose the flashlight. So this flashlight right here is going to be going to Matt Prentice as soon as I get a chance to run out and drop it off to him.
He's probably watching.
Probably is. But I just want to remind everybody about our sponsor, FireCam, and the great products they have. And also remember, we're going to be giving away one of the FireCam flashlights to one of the first 200 subscribers on our X channel. So make sure you switch to our X channel and like it. You know, a chance to win a FireCam flashlight.
Nice.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Gina, your thoughts on what we talked about?
I think
today?
it was a really great episode today. This was pretty cool. My final take is see you next week. For now, yeah.
I agree. That was a pretty long episode.
Yeah, that was nice. I was wanting to digest.
Pretty talked out. I think it's good stuff, and I'm excited about the things to come. Anybody has any comments or suggestions for us, please feel reach out and give them to us. Our email address is thirddofirstin@gmail.com. You can also comment on our channels. You can comment on our Facebook page. You can comment on our YouTube. Please, if you like what you're seeing here, go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe and like the videos. That really helps us out a lot so we can keep bringing you this content. All right, and I really appreciate everybody that commented today and comments that we highlighted. Don't forget, we're going to enter you for a chance to win an Amazon gift card.
Right up the suck.
See everybody next time. Thanks a lot.